Hello and welcome everyone. So in this video I would like to discuss about study note number 12, that is payment of Wages Act 1936. In this study note we have to study about object, scope and applicability of Wages Act 1936. So we have to discuss only the important topic for your examination point of view. No need to study all and each lines. Okay, we have to study smartly so that we can uh, you know uh, catch the lines which are important for your examination point of view. So let's get started. With effect from 11th 9 2012, the employee drawing wages up to 18,000 per month is covered under this act. Applicability of the act extends to the whole of India. Effect: the act came into effect from 28th March 1937. Okay, so employer definition in case of Wages Act 1936 define the term employer as including the legal representative of deceased employer also. Okay, so what is the definition of wages? Section 2 subsection VI define the term wages as all remuneration, whether by way of salary, allowance or otherwise, expressed in terms of money or capable of being so expressed, which would, if the terms of employment expressed or implied were fulfilled, by payable to a person employed in respect of his employment or of work done in such employment, and includes any remuneration payable under any award or settlement between the parties or order of a court, any remuneration to which the person employed is entitled in respect of overtime work or holidays or any leave period, any additional remuneration payable under the terms of employment, whether called a bonus or by any other name, any sum which by reason of the termination of employment of the person employed is payable under any law, contract or instrument which provides for the payment of such sum, whether with or without deductions, but does not provide for the time within which the payment is to be made, any sum to which the person employed is entitled under any scheme framed under any law for the time being in force. Okay, so what is the fixation of wage period as per section 4? In payment of the wages, it is important to fix the wage period. Section 4 of the act provides that every responsible for the payment of wages shall fix period in respect of which wages shall be paid. This section further provides that no wage period shall exceed 1 month. No wage period shall exceed 1 month. The wage period may be daily, weekly, fortnightly or for any period, but the period should not exceed 1 month. Wage period may be change हो सकता है daily, weekly or fortnightly or for any period, but the period should not be exceed 1 month. Okay, as per section 4, fixation of wage period. Clear? So, what is the time of payment of wages? Section 5 provides the date on which the payment of wages have to be done. The wages of every person employed upon or in any railway, factory or industrial or other establishment upon or in which less than 1,000 persons are employed shall be paid before the expiry of the 7th day. Important. This sentence is important. The wages of every person employed upon or in any railway, factory or industrial or other establishment upon or in which less than 1,000 persons are employed shall be paid before the expiry of the 7th day. Clear? The wages of every person employed upon or in any other railway, factory or industrial or other establishment shall be paid before the expiry of the 10th day after the last day of the wage period in respect of which the wages are payable. Okay, then in case of person employed on a dock, wharf or jetty or in a mine, the balance of wages found due on completion of the final tonnage account of the ship or wagons, loaded or unloaded as the case may be, shall be paid before the expiry of the 7th day from the date day of such completion. Okay, so this is it all about the fixation of wage period and the time for wage payment of wages. Okay, then powers of inspector. What are the powers of inspector? Inspector may make such examination and inquiry as he thinks fit in order to ascertain whether the provisions of this act or rules made thereunder are being observed with such assistance, if any, as he thinks fit, enter, inspect and search any premises of any railway, factory or industrial or other establishment at any reasonable time for the purpose of carrying out the object of this act. Then supervise the payment of wages to persons employed upon any railway or in any factory or industrial or other establishment, required by a written order the production at such place as may be prescribed of any register maintained in pursuance of this act and taken on the spot or otherwise statement of any persons which he may consider necessary for carrying out the purpose of this act. Clear? And seize or take copies of such register documents or portion thereof as he may consider relevant in respect of an offence under this act which he has reason to believe has been committed by an employer. Then exercise such other power as may be prescribed. Okay, so this is the power of inspector is very important for your examination point of view. इसमें लॉन्ग टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चन आएगा आपका एग्जाम में लॉन्ग टाइप क्वेश्चन. व्हाट आर द पावर्स ऑफ इंस्पेक्टर इन केस ऑफ पेमेंट ऑफ वेजेस एक्ट 1936. Okay, so this is it. Now what are the penalty? Penalty भी important है. Section 20 provide for the penalty that are imposable under this act. Section 20 subsection 1 provide that whoever being responsible for the payment of wages to an employed person contravenes any of the provision of any of the following sections, namely section 5 except subsection 4 thereof, section 7, section 8 except subsection 8 thereof, section 9, section 10 except subsection 2 thereof, and section 11 to 13 both inclusive shall be punishable with fine which shall not be less than 200 rupees but which may extend to 1000 rupees. Okay. Then section 20 subsection 2 provide that whoever contravene the provision of section 4 of subsection 4 of section 5, section 6 subsection 8 of section 8, subsection 2 of section 10 or section 25 shall be punishable with fine which may extend to rupees 3750. Clear? Section 20 subsection 3 provide that whoever being required under this act to maintain any record or register or to furnish any information or return fail to maintain such register or record, willfully refuses without lawful excuses, neglect to furnish such information or return, or willfully furnishes or causes to be furnished any information or return which he knows to be false, or refuses to answer or willfully gives a false answer to any question necessary for obtaining any information required to be furnished under this act, in that case shall for each such offence be punishable with fine which shall not be less than 1500 but which may extend to 7500. So you need to remember all the important point of penalty also. This is very important for the examination point of view. Okay, so this is it, subject matter of payment of wages act 1936. Now we have to discuss all the important multiple choice questions. So first, fill in the blanks. Number 1, the wage period shall not exceed 1 month. The wage period shall not exceed dash, and that is 1 month. Clear? Then number 2, the term employer includes the dash deceased employer. The term employer includes the legal representative of deceased employer. The term employer includes the legal representative of deceased employer. Then number 3, all payment of wages. All payment of wages shall be made on dash. All payment of wages shall be made on a working day. Clear? Then number 4, the wage of employed person shall be paid to him with deduction of any kind except those dash under this act, except those authorized under this act. वो बोल रहा है कि the wage of employed person shall be paid to him with deduction of any kind except those authorized under this act. Then number 5, total amount of fine which may be imposed in amount of fine which may imposed in any wage period shall not exceed and equal to dash of the wages payable to him in respect of wage period. The right answer is 3%. 3%. Total amount of fine which may be imposed in any wage period shall not exceed and equal to 3% of the wages payable to him in respect of wage period. Clear? Then next, number 6, every register and record shall be preserved for a period of dash after the date of last entry made therein. So right answer is 3 years. 3 years. Every register and record shall be preserved for a period of 3 years after the date of last entry made therein. Okay. Then number 7, the claim for delayed payment of wages for deduction made from the wage is to be made in form dash in case of individual employed person. Right answer is form A. The claim for delayed payment of wages for deduction made from the wage is to be made in form A in case of individual employed person. Then number 8, the provision to section 15 subsection 2 mentioned that an application against the delayed payment of wages is to be filed within dash month to the authority from the date on which the payment is due. Right answer 12 month. 12 months to the authority from the date on which the payment is due. Then number 9, the wage in respect of any person terminated shall be payable before the expiry of dash working day from the date of termination. The right answer is second working day. The wages in respect of any person terminated shall be payable before the expiry of second working day from the date of termination. Clear? Number 10, the limitation for a claim would always start from the date on which the wage is accrued. The limitation for a claim will always start from the date on which the wage is accrued. Okay. So now we have to choose the correct answer. Number 1, the Payment of Wages Act apply to wages payable to an employed person in respect of wage period if such wages for that wage period do not exceed dash per month. Rupees dash per month. So right answer is choice number A. No. Choice number B 10,000. No. Choice number C, that is 18,000. Yes, this is right. So the right answer is choice number C 18,000. The Payment of Wages Act apply to wages payable to an employed person in respect of wage period if such wages for that period do not exceed rupees 18,000 per month. Clear? Next, number 2, payment of wages shall be made by in current coins. Yes, it can be through current coins. By currency notes. Yes, it can be currency notes. Payment of wages can be done through currency notes. Payment of wages shall be made by check also, by crediting in bank account also. So all are possible in case of payment of wages. So the right answer will be choice number E, any of the above. Any of the above. Okay. So payment of wages shall be made in current coin also, shall be made by currency notes also, shall be made by check, and by crediting in bank account. Then number 3, no fine shall be imposed on the employee under the age of dash. No fine shall be imposed on the employee under the age of 15. राइट आंसर इज 15. जो भी एम्प्लॉय का एज 15 साल से बिलो है, इन दैट केस फाइन शुड नॉट बी इम्पोज्ड ऑन हिम. ओके. देन नंबर 4, the authorization to act on behalf of an employed person or persons for the claim of delayed payment of wages is to be given to the authority in form number dash. Right answer is choice number D, that is form D. Form D. Okay. The authorization to act on behalf of an employed person or persons for the claim of delayed payment of wages is to be given to the authority in form number D. Then number 5, in appeal against the order of the authority may be filed to the district court within dash days. The right answer is 30 days. 30 days. In appeal against the order of the authority may be filed to the district court within 30 days. Then number 6, the wages of employed person in an establishment where less than 1000 persons are employed shall be paid before 7th day. Okay. The wages of employed person in an establishment where less than 1000 persons are employed shall be paid before 7th day. Okay. Then number 7, no fine shall be recovered after the expiry of dash days from the day on which it was imposed. The right answer is 90. So no fine shall be recovered after the expiry of 90 days from the day on which it was imposed. Then number 8, which shall be deemed to be absent by an employed person? Refuse to work, participating in work, या फिर none of the above. The right answer is either A or B, which shall be deemed to be absent by an employed person. So answer is choice number D, either A or B. Now question number 9, the authority may refuse to entertain an application for the claim. The authority may refuse to entertain an application for the claim that the applicant is not entitled to present the application. Yes. That the application is barred by limitation. Yes. That the applicant shows no sufficient cause for making a direction. Yes. So ये सब केस में authority may refuse to entertain an application for the claim. So the right answer will be choice number D, that is any of the above. That the applicant is not entitled to present the application, that the application is barred by limitation, that the applicant shows no sufficient cause for making a direction. Clear? Then number 10, if the employee does not attend the hearing, the application will be. If the employee does not attend the hearing, the application will be dismissed. So right answer is choice number A, dismissed. Okay. So now state whether true or false. Number 1, all deduction and all realization shall be recorded in a register to be kept open by the person responsible for payment of wages. Yes, this sentence is true. All deduction and all realizations shall be recorded in a register to be kept open by the person responsible for the payment of wages. Okay. Then number 2, every payment made by the employed person to the employee shall be deemed to be a deduction from the wages. Yes. The payment made by the employed person to the employee shall be deemed to be a deduction from wages. Any loss, number 3, any loss of wage resulting the suspension of an employee amount to deduction of wages. No, this sentence is false. if the application for the claim of wrong deduction is filed beyond limitation period, in that case the authority will reject the application. No, this sentence is false. Number 5, the term employed person includes the legal representative of a deceased person. Deceased employed person, yes, the term employed person includes the legal representatives of a deceased employed person also. So next, number 6, every employer shall be responsible for the payment of wages to be paid under the act to persons employed by him. Yes, bound to pay under this act to person employed by him. Every employer shall be responsible for the payment of wages to be paid under the act to person employed by him. Okay, next, number 7, a notice is not required to be issued before imposing fines on the employed person. False. A notice is required to be issued before imposing fine on the employed person. Okay, इधर लिखा हुआ है not required, but it's actually required. A notice is required to be paid issued before imposing fine on the employed person. Then number 8, fine may be recovered from the employed person by installment. No, this sentence is false. There is no such installment system while imposing any fine. Then number 9, no recovery shall be made of advances given before employment against the advance given for traveling expenses. This sentence is true. No recovery shall be made of advance given before employment against the advance given for traveling expenses. Okay. Number 10, the application for claim of delayed payment of wages should be filed in duplicate. One copy shall bear such court fee as may be prescribed. So this sentence is true. Okay, so in this way I have discussed all the multiple choice question, whether true or false, or fill in the blanks, to select the correct answer. And now discuss the model questions, long type of questions relevant for your examinations. Okay, what is the procedure in imposition of fine on the employee under this act? Yeah, important. What are the remedies available against wrong deduction? Describe the procedure to claim the delayed payment of wages or deduction made from the wages. This is important. What are the kind of deduction that can be made from the wages? Whether a property of an employer can be attached for non-payment of wages. Discuss the procedure involved in this regard. What is the punishment imposable if the employer failed to maintain register, willfully obstruct an inspector in the discharge of his duties under this act by any person? Describe the procedure for filing of nomination for the purpose of this act. Elaborate the provision of section 5 which deals with the time within which wages shall be paid. This is important. Define the term wages and wage period. This is important. So I have selected important question for your examination point of view. Write the appropriate answer for all of them, and also focus need to be given on multiple choice question, and revise as many times as possible. Okay, so in with this study note payment of study note 12, that is Payment of Wages Act 1936, we have completed section B, that is industrial law. And now in the next video we will discuss about section C, that is corporate law. Okay, so thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for your support.